Hello everyone, and today we are going to start our new chapter, Wind, Storms and Cyclones. What is wind? The moving air is called wind. And now we are going to discuss about some of the properties of air or wind. The first property we are going to discuss is air exerts pressure. Air can exert pressure over other objects. Let's discuss some examples. The leaves of trees, banners or flags flutter in wind. It is easy to row a boat when wind is blowing from backside. If the bicycle tube is overfilled with air, it gets bursted. Same like when we are blowing a balloon, if it is overfilled, we will see that it will burst out. The same way, it is easy to fly a kite when wind coming from back. From all these examples, it is very evident that air can exert pressure over other objects. Let's discuss an experiment. Take a thin can with a lid, fill half of it with water, heat the can till the water boils. Then blow out the flame, immediately close the lid and keep the can carefully in a wash basin. Then pour fresh water over the can. What will be the observation for that? You can see here in this picture itself that shape of can get distorted. What will be the reason for that? When we are boiling water, some of the water changes to water vapor. And when we are pouring water over the can, some streams in the can condenses into water, reducing the amount of air inside. The pressure of air inside the can decreases than the pressure exerted from outside. As a result, the can get distorted. Now, we are going to discuss about other topic, other property of air. Speed of wind or air and pressure. What is the relationship between speed of wind and pressure? When the speed of wind increases, it lowers the air pressure. That's why always air will flow from a higher pressure regions to low pressure region. And the speed of wind or air depends upon the difference between the pressure of regions. If the difference in the pressure increases, the speed of the air also increases. And now our next topic, that is our next property of air, that is air expands on heating. On heating, air expands. So whenever air expands, it occupies more space and become light in weight. In the same way, if you are cooling air, it contracts and become heavy in weight. And now we are moving to another topic, how wind currents are generated. This main reason behind the generation of wind current is uneven heating on earth. So there are mainly two situations that are creating wind currents in the earth. The first situation is uneven heating between equator and the pole, and second one, uneven heating of land and water. Then we can discuss the first one, uneven heating between equator and the pole. What is the difference between this? In the first case, the region close to the equator gets maximum sunlight from the sun and air above this region will heat up first. Then the air tends to rise up. So to occupy that space, cool air from the sides moves in. This creates a wind current. And the other option, at the poles, the air is cooler than the sides. So the warm air of the sides, it will move up to occupy that space. Cool air from the poles moves in. That also will create a wind current. In this picture, you can easily know that in the equator region it gets maximum sunlight. So the air above that equator region will rise up to occupy that space. From the sideways, cool air comes. At the same way, at the poles, it will be very cool. So the sides they will have warm air. That air rises up to that region. Cool air from the pole blows up. So that also create wind current. So this is the first method. And the second way, uneven heating of land and water. In summer, Near the equator, the land warms up faster than ocean. The air over the land gets heated and rises. This causes the wind to flow from the oceans towards the land. So the winds that comes from the ocean, it carry more water molecules. So these are known as monsoon winds. These monsoon wind causes rain. And the same way in winter, the direction of winds get reversed. It is from lands to ocean. So these are the uneven heating of land and water. This also causes wind current. Like this, in summer season you can see wind is blowing from ocean to land. Since it is blowing from ocean, it contains more water molecules. So it causes rain, and that type of winds are called monsoon winds. And next topic we are going to discuss is thunderstorm. Thunderstorms develop in hot, humid and tropical areas. And how thunderstorms are developed? In hot, humid and tropical areas, the air above the land will become heat up fast, and that will tends to rise up. At the same time, the water molecule that reaches at a higher level as water vapor, they will condense back to liquid as the form of raindrops. They will fall back to earth. So the swift movement of falling water droplets along with the rising air create lightning and sound. This situation is called as thunderstorm. Here you can see the cool air moves downwards, at the same time warm humid air rises with the raindrops. So that situation will create lightning and sound. And now, what are the precautions we have to take care in thunderstorm? Here are some precautions. The first one, do not take shelter under an isolated tree. An isolated tree, it is not a good shelter. If you are in a forest or in a dense tree area, we have to take shelter under a very small tree. Do not lay on the ground. Do not take shelter under an umbrella with a metallic end. If it have a metallic end, there is more chance to get shock because metal can easily conduct electricity. Do not sit near a window. Open garages, sheds are not a safe place for shelter. But at the same time, a car or a bus is a safe place to take shelter. And if you are in water, get out and go into a building, because if you are in water, there is more chance to get shock. So avoid standing in water. Now we can discuss about how a cyclone is formed. After cloud formation, water vapor changes back to liquid as raindrops. During this, heat energy is released to the atmosphere. This heat warms up the air around. The air tends to rise and causes a drop in pressure. More air rushes to the center, and this cyclic chain of events ends with a formation of a very high speed winds revolving around it. This weather condition is called as cyclones. And this is a cyclone, and you can see swirling winds are here, and in between you can see this is the center of a cyclone. And a cyclone is known as hurricane in American continent. At the same time, it is known as typhoon in Philippines and Japan. This is a structure of a cyclone, and this is an image of an eye of a cyclone, and this is a rising water caused by a cyclone, that is the after effect of cyclone. So this is the main structure of cyclone. Okay, this is the eye or the center part of cyclone. What are the factors affecting cyclone? When the cyclone is formed, what were the factors that is affecting the formation of a cyclone? There are mainly 4 factors affecting the formation of a cyclone. That is the wind speed, wind direction and temperature, humidity. These are the main 4 factors that affect the formation of a cyclone. This is the structure of a cyclone, and here you can easily understand this is the eye of a cyclone. And what is the specialty of the eye of a cyclone means it will be a very calm area. There is only a small breeze will be there, nothing else will be there. It's a very calm area, but around that eye of cyclone, there will be very high speed winds are spiraling. What are the destructions caused by cyclones? Cyclones can cause high tides and it will cause flood. It reduces the fertility of soil. It causes damages to buildings and properties. Damages to electricity, telephone and like all other communication systems. It may cause leads to our loss of life. So these are the main destructions caused by cyclones. Depending upon the strength of cyclones, the effects also will be different. These are the effect or destructions caused by cyclones. Then what are the precautions we have to be taken care when a cyclone is announced? Should not ignore the warning issued by the government. Whenever any cyclone warnings are issued by government, you have to be taken care of that. And second one, make necessary arrangements to shift the essential household things or domestic animals and vehicles. We have to shift it to a safe place. And avoid driving on roads through standing water because there may be a damaged road that will cause problems. Keep ready the emergency phone numbers like government authorities, ambulance or fire force or something like that. Always we have to keep our emergency phone numbers with us. And store drinking water because after flood or something like that there is a chance for contamination of drinking water. So always we have to store more drinking water. Do not touch wet switches and fallen power lines. When the high speed winds are blowing, there is a chance for falling power lines and all that will cause a shock or something like that. So don't touch wet switches and fallen power lines. Our next topic is tornadoes. A tornado is a black funnel-shaped cloud that reaches to the earth from the sky. This is the picture of a tornado. This is the tornado. Tornado can cause many destructions and it's a very high speed winds are there in the tornado. And in the first itself we are discussing about the wind speed and how can we measure the speed of a wind. The speed of a wind can be measured by an instrument and that is this. This is the anemometer. With this anemometer we can easily measure the speed of a wind. So with this chapter we are concluding our chapter. Thank you.